Hi. So, a little bit ago, I was doing everyone's favorite thing during quarantine. Pretend you're actually busy by looking at random stuff on the internet. And I happened across this interesting Nextdoor thread. If you don't know what Nextdoor is, it's, in theory, social media for, like, neighborhoods and communities. So, like, if your next door neighbor saw little Sparky getting kidnapped by the creepy guy on the corner, you'll know what's going on. But in reality, you only fit its niche if you're A, ridiculously interested in other people's personal lives, and B, have so much spare time on your hands that you think going on this disgusting site is worth your time. Putting it that way, I'm guessing its daily users have gone up a lot during COVID, but that's beside the point. Like I said, in reality, Nextdoor doesn't really do any of the things it intended to. I don't feel any safer knowing it exists. And it just kind of boils out, like, the worst, most mediocre parts of humanity. And oftentimes, it boils it down to something like this. So, the first great sign for this thread is that it looks like a 3 a.m. text chain between you and your depressed homies. This thing is, like, as long as the script of Hamlet, and if you told me that that's what it was, I would totally believe you. It's got equal levels of, like, drama and passion. And, like me, the one relatable part of it, when you look closer at it, it's so much worse than you could have imagined. So, this starts off like your classic Nextdoor saga. We have our protagonist. In this case, we'll be calling her Karen 1. She starts off immediately with her mission statement. Dog poop. This is very important to her character, and you're going to want to keep close track of it because it's kind of the thing that guides her the entire way through. I've been to a few acting classes, and you're always told that one of the most important things is knowing what your character wants. And Karen 1 here is on an absolute crusade against these dog poo invaders coming from outside, and that's very important for her, so keep that in mind. To my inconsiderate neighbors, always a good start, at the street, why do you think it is acceptable to let your little dog, gotta insult the dog too, run loose up and down the street pooping on everybody else's lawn? You stand in your driveway and watch it happen and are too lazy to pick up after your pet. This is not okay, and it is very rude. I've seen your dog all the way on the far corner by doing his business. One of these days he's going to get hit by a car. That's definitely a threat. That's not like a warning for the sake of the owners. That is absolutely a threat. Please keep your dog on a leash and stop him from messing on everybody's yard. And this was posted in general to... Wait, I've seen this before, but I didn't realize this. To 20 neighborhoods. She thought it was necessary to share this information to 20 different neighborhoods. And now we're introduced to Karen 2. She starts it off pretty well. It's extremely rude. I got to agree with you there, Karen 2. It is pretty rude. Confront these people. Okay, I respect that too. I mean, it's a little bit of a weird way to phrase it, but, like, you know, you got the red spirit. And kick the dog if you have to. And the owner. This is where it gets really good, because while we've all seen, like, you know, your standard animal abuser, they're everywhere over the internet. It's chill. It's whatever. But this is a sentiment that I don't think I've ever heard echoed before. Just hit the person. Just assault and battery. Assault and battery. You know, laws exist to be broken. So if the person's dog poos on your lawn, just slap him in the face. Why not? That's what Karen 2 thinks that you should do. I really hope Karen 2 doesn't have a job that requires social interaction. Like, imagine if she's a therapist and you come to her with your bullying problems, and you're like, wait, what should I do? Should I tell the principal? She just puts her finger over your mouth, hands you the Glock and the 9, and says,
go deal with your problems on your own, son.
Hose them down. Of, you don't want to get violent. I don't think the of means anything in particular. Can't really expect Karens to have great grammar, but I really don't think that's the most important part of this. I also like how that's the non-violent option. You know, normally it would be like talk to them or maybe like get a little bit down and dirty, but both of her options are just like, yeah, hurt them a lot. These people have a special place in hell. And now we have our White Knight defender of, you know, everything good in the world. Why on earth would you recommend kicking the dog? It's not the dog's fault. The owners are nightmares. Shame on you, Karen 2. I can't, like, show you the names, but the way this is phrased sounds like person 3 knows who Karen 2 is, which I feel like makes this even funnier, because it implies that, like, this person is, like, used to Karen 2 having these outbursts on social media where she threatens to, like, murder people. Oh, calm down, honey, it's okay. And Karen 2 has a response. Kicking is nothing more than what spanking is to an unruly child. Of course, I personally am a great fan of spanking children. I think it's the best way to get discipline into them. Just hit them real good. So I can't disagree with that notion. But then she gets, like, real intense on you. If the owner won't train their dog, I will. I have said something to the people many times. Never would kick the dog. It's not his fault. They don't care what their dog does, and I agree, it's very rude. Tagging the person. I totally agree with you. The dog isn't the one to blame here. It's the owner. I hope you don't own an animal since you have no understanding or compassion. This is not the dog's fault. I agree, but I feel like the fact that any of these have, like, a heart on them shows how low the standard is for love on Nextdoor. Then we get a response from Karen 2 back to Karen 1. Then just spank the owner. This is kind of good. You know, it was kind of inconsistent with her character for, like, the whole hose them down thing. Obviously, she just wants you to, like, freaking attack them. Like, it's kind of a cop-out to do anything otherwise. We have a great turn, because Karen 1 says, Karen 2, That I would have no problem doing. So obviously, like I said, the bar for this is very low, because we have yet another heart on the person who agrees, yes, just assault and battery on a random person. We're back to person 3, the only slightly reasonable user on this entire site. Karen 2, you are disgusting. Go ahead and try to kick the dog. Can't guarantee you will like what's coming your way. I don't know if this person just, like, believes in karma, in which case you do you, or it's like another one of these Nextdoor veiled threats. Honey, you do that. I promise nothing bad'll happen. Okay, I think at this point we definitely realize that person 3 absolutely knows Karen 2. You're not in the South anymore. I pray you don't have animals. There's definitely some lore that's been built up here. I think they probably had this conversation before. Karen 2, my heart will always be with the South. We need to be tough on these skinny hipsters and their sissy dogs. Skinny hipsters, whatever, I mean, that's like the classic redneck thing, but sissy dogs, I've never heard anyone refer to a dog who, like, doesn't want to get, like, kicked as sissy. I feel like this person was told to, like, the school bully, but, like, they were way too shrimpy to actually bully someone, so they just, like, did it to, like, the kids and pets instead. I wouldn't have to go to these extremes, ... see more. This is not on purpose. By the time I took this screenshot and then came back to maybe take another one, this thread had already been removed from Nextdoor. It was just completely scrubbed clean, so I guess the moderators are better than the users, or they're better at hiding evidence, I don't know. Karen 1 replies, I'm very thankful you're not my neighbor. Which is a pretty stupid statement considering this is all the same neighborhood next door, so you're kind of everyone's neighbor, but sure, okay, why not? And now we have a 4th player. No, you wouldn't have to go to these extremes if you chose instead to act like an adult. Kicking a dog and spanking a kid has proven to... I don't know exactly what it is she goes on to say, but I'm guessing she says the reasonable thing, which is... maybe that's a bad idea? Karen 2. I was spanked and I learned to be a proper human being. No, you didn't. Maybe I would have believed that if I'd met you in person and you said it to me, but after this, you definitely did not become a proper human being. That's the problem today. All these hipsters feel empowered because they've never gotten manners. You know it's good when the person uses empowered as a pejorative. Oh yeah, all these women pretending that they're not just objects, they're so empowered. Yeah, I think being empowered is I think it's a good thing. Then, a 5th person. Actually, darling, there was a warm place in hell for you. More super quirky, epic, amazing emojis. Sassy. I like it. I respect it. Back to another person. Hun, a proper human being doesn't kick dogs or hit/spank humans. I'm sorry you were spanked. That's a terrible thing. Manners aren't beaten into people. I hope that's what she goes on to say. This is the reason dogs are crapping on people's lawns. The parents of these entitled hipsters needed to beat some common sense into them. I feel like this person's worldview is probably just that, like, you need abuse to, like, kind of get any idea into their mind. Like when they studied for tests, photosynthesis, PHOTO, really drill that idea into them. Glad you got beaten as a kid. A little bit intense. I hope you're enjoying your life as a proper miserable human being. She's definitely not proper. She seems pretty miserable, though. Dogs are way better than humans. Karen 2 responds, I'm glad too. You should have to. You wouldn't be so bratty if that were the case. I guess she's just referencing that she should have been beaten herself as a child. We have, the original poster come back. Karen 1. If you try to kick my dog, you'll lose my foot. If he didn't bite it off, I will. Very kinky. I will literally just eat you. I will eat your foot off. Nextdoor just really does bring out the worst in people. Why post here and not confront the neighbor directly? I think that's kind of like the summary of all of the internet. Why are you doing this when you could just go talk to people? Why am I doing this when I could just go talk to people? Karen 1 comes to respond. I have confronted the owner on several occasions, but it doesn't do any good. I don't know how posting on it on Nextdoor and then threatening to eat people will do any more good. Scoop it up and put it on the neighbor's driveway where they stand. I made some deposits on their lawn. Sounds like more are needed. We're really getting, like, a beautiful friendship here. Random person and Karen 1 being a chaotic duo for 15.5 minutes. Like, this could totally be a YouTube compilation. Now we have someone who's, like, really going, like, full on trying to end this conversation. And I think she seems to be posting rules for the neighborhood. I like the do not light the dog poop on fire section. Do not light the dog poop on fire in front of your neighbor. Don't take the dog poop and toss it onto your neighbor's property. They all failed. I'm certain they've all done that tons of times. Don't deliver the dog poop to your neighbor's mailbox or front door. What are my rights as a property owner? These people shouldn't have any rights. I don't think it's safe for humanity. And on that note, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please smash that subscribe button, so that way you can join the over 90% of people who are already subscribed, because the only people who watch my sad, pathetic videos are my friends who I force into it. Also, please come watch me on my live show tour. I will be standing outside of abandoned warehouses begging for money. Don't worry, it's all part of the act. Bye.